Good question, man.
There we go. I think we're live. Give me a second to pull it up on my phone, and then I'll get started once I know it's up. Because that's where the recording starts.
Yo, go look at my Instagram story when you can.
Oh, God.
I'm scared. I am so scared. JT, what the fuck did you put?
All right, edit that out. Yep, we are live. Cool. All right. Well, ready? All right. Well, let's get started and get talking about Mad Sport. Welcome back to Mad Sports Talk. We're all coming out of the week of hell, literally losing to the Sun Devils earlier this week, and also the ban on the tortillas now, which all Texas Tech fans are really thrilled about. I know we'll get on to that. What the student base is thinking about that. JT coming back with us from his trip from ASU. You got Mason over in the top right corner, Mason Pierce.
Oh, no.
And then you got me, AJ Douglas. Sam not able to join us as he's watching the Texans tonight, and I think he had Bible study. So hoping his Texans do good, which so far does not look good, down 14-0. So I bet Sam's having a great time right now. But overall, let's get back. JT, before we get on to any of the game, let's talk about your ASU experience. Anything you want to talk about? I know you had some fan interaction, but like, how was ASU as a campus and all that?
Dude, yeah, no, Tempe's great, dude. Like, it's very clean, it's very modern. It's like the campus is like a mini city. But I loved it there. I mean, 95% of the fans were very cool, very welcoming. Like, a lot of them asked about like Tech tradition and stuff. So I mean, a lot of feedback too. I heard a lot of ASU fans are glad to be in the Big 12 now, that they hated the Pac-12, which I know we're not too glad to be in the Big 12 at this moment currently.
Yeah.
But dude, sure. Overall, great experience. Stadium was great. Accommodations were great. The concourse is weird. You know, the stadium's sunk between a mountain, so it's like two mountains on each side. And so you know how your typical concourse like opens up and you can walk through like the sections, right? It backs up straight to the mountain. So the back wall and the opening, so you have the stairs to go up to the upper tier, and there's a mountain. So the mountain is the wall. Like it's one of the most interesting things. It's one of the most interesting things I've seen. The student section during the day is the only section that has shade, which is kind of nice. But no, I mean, overall experience, it was great. Obviously, me and my family were there. We had some fan trouble. Won't get into details about that because that really doesn't matter. But for the most part, people were good. I had a former player sit in front of me, so I was talking with him throughout the game. Got to see the Tillman statue, saw his whole memorial thing, which is sick. Good, just a great school, honestly. A lot of people give it crap just because it's known for a party school, but I really enjoyed it. And the stadium itself, the whole game experience, and then obviously it sucked that it was against us, but getting to see a field rush in person was pretty dope.
I'm guessing you didn't partake in it, right?
No, I probably should have, just to get some pictures with the cheerleaders for ASU. But other than that, but dude, 10 out of 10 experience. Like, it was great. Phoenix is great. I had to go to Glendale, see State Farm Stadium, all that. And dude, I'd 100% recommend going to Tempe for a game. They do it different. It's different out there, but it's fun, and they know how to party. They know how to throw a game. So
nice. All right. Yeah. Now for the talk we all want to have, of course, coming off of a 26-22 loss. The Red Raiders not able to pull it out against the Sun Devils. JT, we heard from you. Let's go and start off with Mason. Mason, what are your first thoughts on this game last week?
Man. Well, considering we're only, I guess now it's Monday night, just 2 nights removed from this game. There are a lot of things that definitely are somewhat concerning, but like we both have, all of us have talked off the air about, no need to panic, right? This is a very good Arizona State team. Don't let their loss last week to Utah really fool you like it pretty much did me. That team, when healthy, especially that offense, is deadly with Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson. a guy that definitely is going to end up being a first-round pick. But, overall, this game feels more like Tech lost it than really Arizona State won it. I know a lot of ASU people would probably give me crap for it, but this was probably, in my opinion, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but one of our worst coached games we've had so far this year. I felt like in general this year we've had a big improvement, especially on the offensive side of the ball with coaching. But today, and I think JT, you had texted this, pretty much felt like a quarter of our playbook was being used and the other 3 quarters were just thrown out, due to Will being our starter. And, one of the biggest things that I think killed us was also the fact that we tried to keep Barron's injury under wraps and still kind of make them think there was a chance he could play on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then it ended up getting leaked that Will was going to be the starter on Friday night, which I imagine gave ASU some time to at least now scheme for that matchup. And, their defense did exactly that. When we look at, yardage-wise, Cam Dickey coming off an historic game last week, against Kansas at home. I think it was about 260 and 2 or 3 touchdowns. It was a phenomenal game, right? But when you look into this against a D-line that's not the best in the Big 12, Will Hammond ended up being our leading rusher with only 47 and a touchdown. And, unfortunately, our backs were kept both to under 45. So definitely was what I felt killed us in this game because, our run game has really been more dominant.
Off that 300-yard game.
Yeah, no, exactly. No discredit to Will because I don't think he gets enough, credit with his arm, especially considering if any of y'all look at his high school stuff, this cat dropped 10 touchdowns one time in a game and like almost 800 yards. So he can throw the ball against pretty decent competition, and he showed it against Utah, but just for some reason, just this game was not it, being on the road, this time against a crowd that was there the whole game versus kind of just the first half like it was against Utah. Overall, Will definitely missed a few throws, but also, too, it just was not a very fluent game by this team, and I don't want to keep yapping anymore, but definitely a winnable game that we should have had, but unfortunately, just mistakes ended up costing us big in this, and it showed. AJ, if you want to talk a little bit about what you thought.
Yeah, no, you definitely hit all the points that you and me talked offline about. I really didn't. I think the big play call for us was when we were down. I want to say 2 scores. I think it was 16. We were down by that 4th and 6 looked real important in that 4th quarter, and we call a speed option on the strong side of the field. Which, if you're going to call a speed option in the first place, don't know why you would. But if you're going to call it, don't call it on the strong side in the red zone where the field's already shortened. So that play call to me was one of the ones that I was like, what are we doing? What's our thought process? I think Mason, you said that Leftwich answered the question about that one this week or something, but it was still along the lines of where nobody was like.
He answered it. Why. Yeah, he answered it earlier today with obviously all the other coaches when they do their media stuff.
He said they were setting cover 0, and that's why they ran it, and they just didn't execute. Which still, if they're in a cover 0, I don't know why
you're not throwing.
Yeah.
At least throw it at that point.
Yeah.
We have a good deep threat, right? Really a good jump ball guy, and Caleb Douglas, who, mind you, in this game. Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. But Caleb, with his height especially, the fact that he only ended up with 19 yards in this game. But yeah, anyway, AJ, I'll let you get back to your point.
No, and that's exactly what I thought. I was like, why are you not instantly throwing? Why is your first not throw the ball? And then, okay, cool, you're trying to catch him off guard with a run. Why are you doing it on the strong side? That was my big play, and then we thought it was the one that was going to decide us. Luckily, we got bailed out a couple of times by our defense to keep us in it right there at the end. We almost came back on, but we took the lead, but we gave them too much clock with 2 minutes, which I knew was going to come back to haunt us. I remember saying it at the time. I was like, yeah, congrats. The offense finally moved the ball, but you scored way too quick. Now you gave them 2 minutes to play. Should have just tried to get it a first down instead of going for a 20-yard touchdown. But that's hindsight's 2020. You needed the touchdown anyways. It was mandatory, so I can't complain if you get the touchdown. And yeah. So there was just some play calls that I didn't understand. I also believe that I'm on the boat of Will didn't give his best opportunity out there. His first away game, I believe, in Big 12 play. So
First start ever, by the
yeah,
well,
first
besides
start in
the
a Big 12.
last
Yeah,
year.
I mean,
So,
he came
yeah.
in last week versus Kansas, which, if you remember, in the second and third quarter, didn't really look. He struggled a little bit. Fourth quarter, he finally got it going. However, Barron still ended up as our leading passer in that game, in which he was out in the first quarter. So a little bit of concerns when it comes to Will. I think he's still young. I think he still has an opportunity to turn it around. So I ain't gonna say give up on Will. I will say if we want to be a competitive playoff team, I think we need Barron to be back and healthy. And I think this OSU game is going to really tell us what their thought process is and how they're going to rebound after a really sad loss. And you're now you're at the point where you can't afford that BYU loss or you can't afford that K-State loss. Like every game is now mandatory. If you lose either one of those two, you can almost kiss Big 12 championship game out. JT,
Yeah.
let you get your thoughts in.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna piggyback off both y'all's points. So Mason, what you were talking about with the Heaven being our leading rusher, he had more carries than Jacoby and Cameron combined, which is a problem to me.
Especially since Dinky just came off at 300 points.
Right, yeah. Everyone knows. So like, here's what ticks me off. We put him like when Barron's playing, we put Hammond in for a QB sneak, like a QB run play. Everyone knows it's coming. That's what we've done for 2 years. And especially now, like everyone knew the quarterback run was coming at some point, especially when you motion out Cam or whoever, and it's an empty set, right? Especially when you have trips to the right, you motion Cam to that side, so now it's quads. Like you know a QB run is going to come. So the fact that Will had more carries than both our running backs combined, who split carries, is really scary. And then AJ, to your point on the 4th and 6, I agree with you. That's stupid. My analysis on it is you take the points. I know you're down, but had we kicked a field goal there, we would have only needed a field goal to win in the end. Yeah. And we were definitely in range for Stone and Upton and Ian. Like, but no, I mean, secondary is my main concern right now. I'm not going to single anyone out. It was just terrible.
Yeah.
Really bad. Jordan Tyson was their only receiver they had. Again, we went in playing a man, it looked like, with Cole being the deep safety. Cole had a good game. I have nothing wrong with. He dropped a pick, which honestly I'm kind of glad he dropped that because that field position would have been awful, especially with how bad we were running the ball. And at that point, the offense was just really stagnant. But no, D-line was fine. David Bailey, still doing his thing.
Bailey's now at 10 sacks this season, 10.5.
Yeah, there's just a lot that sticks out in this game. I want to give credit to special teams guys, especially our punt return and kickoff return.
Yes, absolutely.
There's a lot of what ifs in this game. The one that we returned to take the lead, it was blocked. I don't know if y'all saw that on the TV.
Yeah.
It was blocked, and it was a very heads-up play, but I think John Curry that picked it up. It was either him or Kelby. It was two number 6s.
Kobe did. Yeah.
Great heads-up play by Kelby to pick it up, ran for 20 yards. I almost kind of wish he just fell on it. But in the moment, like, as a player, you're thinking, yeah, I'm going to run this back for a touchdown. That's every player's thing. He was just going. That's a great heads-up play from him.
Yeah,
exactly.
A lot of forced fumbles that didn't go our way as well. I think we punched the ball out 4 times, and they recovered every single one.
Yep.
And then Hammond's pick, honestly, not much to say about that. It was tip drill, which is great reaction by ASU.
The only con on that pick, I would say, is that Will threw it behind him.
He did, and it was still it's still catchable. It hit him in the hands.
Yeah.
Great hit by ASU. Great deflection. Great reaction time. And yes, you're right. It was behind him.
Yeah.
The thing that really stuck out to me the most is, Sam Levitt's coming off injury. He's very mobile. Tyson's really their only deep threat. So I don't know why you don't play zone the whole game. You can let them get in the gaps. Another play that really killed us was the flanker tight end or the flanker running back coming out of the backfield for those check downs. And I think me and my dad, we were sitting up in the stands. We called it 3 times that it happened. We were like, all right, number 7's like going to motion out, and he's going to hit him on the wheel route 15 yards. And sure enough, that happened. I think there was a 3rd and 6, and it was in the 3rd quarter. It was pretty late in the 3rd quarter, and that happened. But no, it's just stuff like that. And if you look at it, like, Tyson was really their main threat. But my whole thing with Levitt is I don't know why you don't put it, like, knowing how mobile he is and that he's not, I don't know if he was fully 100% or not, but knowing that he's coming off injury, I don't know why you attack that. Like, you don't attack that. Like, use that to your advantage. Like, obviously he's going to get outside the pocket with the pressure we have. Have someone step up, make a play, and there's just a lot of things that went wrong. We just looked like the effort wasn't there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree on everything you said. Sam Levitt had a good game, and I mean that's the thing. I'll give ASU some credit. I know we're Tech biased, but I'm like ASU definitely was a good team. We can't overlook that fact. I mean, yeah, I mean they're a lot healthier. I mean, we played with our backup QB, which in most scenarios does not end well for you. So I think ASU was the wrong team to sit Barron if he was healthy enough to play, since he was day by day.
I do have to say real fast, for everyone claiming injuries, ASU's depth chart looks way worse than ours. They have 15 players.
Yeah, but I think the only difference is your QB chart.
Right, yeah.
One dictates an offense.
Players. I'm not saying they're like key players, but 19, I think 11 of them were starters. I think half their defense was out.
Yeah.
Half their starting defense was out. And we're the second best offense in the nation. We couldn't do stuff against second strings. Like that just for me too, looking at that, it's coaching and it's why was Will Hammond limited? I saw plays run that I've never seen Morton run. I've seen my favorite play that we have is that little delayed little 3-yard like crosser. It's like a little screenplay for Terrence Carter. It works every time. We ran it once with John Carlos Miller, and it got 17 yards. We only ran it once in the third quarter. I don't know why we're not running that with Will. That's an easy throw. They're acting like Will's just a true freshman, has no game experience. It's like we didn't open the playbook. But that's just another point. Anyway, you keep going with what.
Like I said, I think I'm not claiming this game was fully injuries. I think ASU overall beats us. I think they were a better team in this game. Like I said, I think it's a little bit different when you're playing with your backup. That's my key, or not key, but like one of my statements is just like, hey, we got our backup in there. It looked like a backup was playing. Our offense was very slow. Coaching didn't help him out, but I like I said, my defense to that is just like you could tell our offense was struggling. And then of course we had Terrence going out. John Carlos both got out. So now we're down both tight ends. So that's going to be fun getting to OSU next week, trying to figure out how we're going to do like play action plays. So I don't know. We'll see.
I think John Carlos Miller's back. I think he was.
I think it was just it seemed like a minor injury during the time. It just kind of sucked that we lost both.
Carter came back with a boot on his right leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge. I don't think people are going to end up realizing how big of it. I think that's going to be one of our biggest hits we'll have on offense. That he provides so much versatility in terms of blocking and passing, and I hate how much in the past few weeks he's not been as utilized as he should be. I know, AJ, we were kind of discussing this a little bit earlier on a phone call. So we were just looking through kind of just some random stats, seeing what was going on. And, I mean, outside of the Oregon State game for Terrence, he really – and I think the Kansas game he had like 7 receptions. But outside of that, I mean, for a guy that last year at Louisiana Lafayette was pretty much a highlight reel as a tight end, yes, against lesser competition, but the talent's there. And he's already shown it this year, especially early on in the season. I wish he was a little bit more utilized, especially against ASU. I know we got banged out. I think it was late. I think it was later on in the game. I want to say it was third quarter, JT. Was it third quarter? So, but and this is another thing that I really want to emphasize, and what killed us in this game, and why that final drive, it kind of was like just all the air came out of us. The time of possession difference in this game. That was one of the most. I think that is one of the biggest things that this team needs to look at. This, especially today, or at least yesterday, maybe in film. So Arizona State in this game had the ball for 37 minutes and 12 seconds in this game, compared to Tech's 22 minutes and 48 seconds. Now, doing the math, that's about a 14 and a half minute difference.
Basically a quarter.
So
That's all you need to say.
yeah, it's pretty much. So our defense pretty much played an entire quarter of this game, and you're not going to win a ball game like that, especially against a team that is as agile as Arizona State is, and especially how deadly they can be and run and just simple short wheel routes. I mean, Raleek Brown was one of the most dynamic backs coming out of high school. There's a reason why he went to USC his freshman year. I mean, there's a reason why he's been arguably one of, if not the best back one of the best backs right now outside of Cam Dickey in the Big 12. And JT, you hit it spot on. I mean, it honestly felt like they did not watch anything about this team at all. You know, the fact that we're running press man on a receiver like Tyson, who has some of the best route running in the country, and then you got guys like Raleek Brown that are coming out of the backfield pretty much unscathed because we're trying to, just rush everybody to the quarterback. And yeah, obviously Levitt being hurt, but I mean, you couldn't have really fooled me in this game that he was hurt because he was still pretty much maneuvering the same way he was before.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it was a lower leg injury too, right? Or leg injury?
It was.
Yeah,
it was.
And he still was, he only had 3 rushing yards. But, I mean, he was able to roll out of the pocket and get out of some sacks.
So he did have a big third down rush. I think it was in the second.
Yeah, he had a 14-yard rush. But I'm just saying, even rolling out of the pocket, he looked mobile. Like he was.
He looked very mobile, and that's the problem. It's like I think we expected him to be injured still, rather than having the treatment that he had sitting out and ready to go. I think we were prepared for him, which I don't understand how you can do that considering we got to look at him last year. It's just,
I agree.
You know the name. It's not like he's some no-name quarterback. It's not like he's a freshman that no one's heard about. Like he was a Heisman contender at the beginning of the year. You need to know how to play these guys, and he's a key factor. Tyson's a key factor. Those are 2 guys on offense that we just look so unprepared for, but those are the 2 main guys. It's how do you not key on that throughout the week?
Yeah.
Am I drawing?
I agree.
Am I drawing a blank here? He might be the best quarterback in the Big 12, right? Especially that we face.
I think Sawyer's still up there.
I wouldn't. Okay, this may be
in the Big 12
after the Baylor
TCU
game.
Yeah.
After the Baylor TCU game, I think Sawyer's still a great quarterback. He's got a ton of talent. I don't feel like there's really a go-ahead favorite right now, like the best. You know what I mean? Because I feel like in past years, there's been one guy that's just above and beyond. And, no fault to Sawyer, right? Because his defense has just been god-awful this year. They've dealt with a lot of injuries. But, I mean, I would say it's definitely the
Maybe
top 3 for sure.
See, just looking at receiving yards, you got Robertson, Hoover, and Fideti. Noah Fideti. I don't know how to say it.
Fafita?
Fafita, yeah.
No, it's really kind of it's a group of guys that you could easily say are number 1, right?
Yeah.
I know ECU fans would easily say Josh Hoover, right, just because of stat-wise, or, Baylor fans are going to easily go Sawyer because of his upside, and, Arizona State fans are going to go with Sam just because of what he did last season and what he's currently doing this year. I mean, Barron is definitely out of that conversation, but I don't know. It's just
it's lack of game time for Barron. That's my problem.
If he could play a full 12 to 13 games a season, he would easily be in this conversation. I don't doubt that one bit. And, another thing is he's coming off shoulder surgery too. And now his same leg is getting messed. He's still dealing with that same leg issue he had against Pine Bluff to start the year. He re-aggravated that. Now he's still currently day-to-day, Joey announced, which is kind of worrisome because it's okay, well, he was borderline available last week. Why is he not pretty much soon to be good to go? Maybe it's a precaution thing.
Part of me thinks they just said he was just available and they're doing that stuff to throw him off.
I agree. I mean, at this point, no shots at Oklahoma State fans, but I mean, there's no reason to play Barron in this game. There's really not. Now, I say that, and then somehow we're going to pull a Penn State and be down to Northwestern type game.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. Right now, it's and I know all of us have talked about this and kind of what our expectations are going into this weekend because on paper we're 37.5 favorites going into this game.
Yeah.
Against OSU. On paper we should absolutely just boat race these guys like it's nothing.
Are they still playing the wide receiver?
Varsity game.
Are they still playing the
Sam
wide receiver
Jackson's
at
still a
QB?
quarterback.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, they
Which
don't
is
even have
funny
a
because
QB in.
well, but the thing is, their offenses look better with him than any of their other quarterbacks. So it's
Oh, yeah.
it's kind of one of those like dilemma things. But no, but I don't want to ask y'all this so I can quit rambling. Going into this game on Saturday, how do you think this team is going to come out? Do you think typically coming off a loss like this and being as highly ranked as we were, do you think we're going to have a fire lit under us and it's going to end up being like 35-0 into the first? Or do you think with all the tortilla news and just pretty much all the down like feelings we've had right now at Tech, especially coming off this loss that most of us thought we were going to win, do you think this team maybe comes out a little bit flat and we still come away with a win, but it's kind of like we're looking back at it like, dude, we may, get upset next week at K-State?
I think they come out quick. I think we come out and hit hard. It's just our problem is when we get up early, we become stagnant. Like I've noticed that a lot. I do have to say, if we struggle like at all this next weekend, if we don't win by at least the spread, I know the alumni base really well. They're going to start the boycott and they're going to start pulling their donations. Like it's getting to a point where we expect results, and I don't see how the team doesn't bounce back this weekend. I mean, this is a free win. This is free yards. This is free stats. Like this OSU team has no business even competing, even scoring a touchdown on us. Like if we were as good as advertised, it's at least 60 points, at least. Like
I mean, it should be more than Kent State. Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that if this team doesn't come out and is at least up 21, 28 nothing at the end of the first, people are going to leave. Like it's getting to that point where it's now or never. How do you respond? Like that's what everyone's going to be watching. This is what all these alumni and all these donors who have spent money over the past 30 years. My dad's one of them. He donates a crap ton of money to the athletic fund, to the alumni association. Like he's if we struggle at all, if we don't make the Big 12 championship this year, like he's seriously going to consider pooling. Like, and I know that's just one guy compared to like 40,000, however many, but everyone feels the same.
How many people are thinking the exact same thing as your dad? Dude?
I think, but like
no, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm agreeing with you. I'm like, how many donors are going to say the same thing your dad's saying? Like this was our team, and yet we still can't produce.
Yeah, like we provide the funding for this, and yet look what's happening when we have this supposed God squad. So I don't see how there's any way that we don't come out angry or come out fired up. Like you just lost a top 10 spot. You had a chance to be ranked. You would have been ranked top 5 had you had gone in there and handled business. You would have had a better chance. We wouldn't have to rely on a tiebreaker now to get to the Big 12 championship at the moment. Mm-hmm. Like it's things like that, man. And honestly, right now there's no guarantee that we make the Big 12 championship. Cincinnati's rolling.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
You potentially just screwed yourself out of a spot. Like how are you going to react? I know me personally, if I'm a coach, I'm telling these guys, y'all are in control of your own destiny. Like if y'all don't show up, y'all don't reap the results. Like it's as simple as that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying about BYU.
Is that how you feel?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I think this BYU game is going to be your big one because that's going to be another ranked opponent, another team that you might need that spot.
I think this game is bigger than the BYU one. I really do.
I think this one's important. This one's important, but I think we're a little safer on the OSU route. I'm terrified along the lines of you might need BYU because you are gonna have to try to steal the spot out of them out of the Big 12. So you're gonna need your tiebreaker over BYU. If you lose to BYU, I think there's no way you make the Big 12 championship because I think the slots will be full. I think Cincinnati gets one of them. I think BYU by that point. Let me look at BYU's schedule after us, but I'm pretty sure they won't have a problem.
There's no guarantee that BYU doesn't lose this weekend against Iowa State.
Yeah, they've. I want to give y'all some. I know I'm going back to the OSU game. I want to give y'all some quick little just tad bits that I just read upon. So Oklahoma State's defense, right? Obviously we have one of the highest scoring offenses in the country, and this is why I am so heavy on and JT and AJ, obviously, we've all mentioned this, that, if we don't win by easily the spread, this game should be considered a loss. Currently, right now, Oklahoma State's defense overall gives up about 469 yards of offense a game, which is 134th in the FBS. And for all the people out there that may not know, that is, I'm pretty sure, dead last or about second to last in all of FBS.
I think there's 136.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is literally like, that is the equivalent, and no shade, but to like your UABs and stuff like that. And this is obviously what used to be a great program.
UAB just knocked off.
Sorry,
isn't
UAB ranked?
Sorry, more like a Kent State. Well, no, sorry. There you go. More like a Kent State. Sorry, AJ, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that.
After the top 25 team.
Dude. After our game, I was in such a depression, dog. Like, I mean, I didn't even care about anything after that point because I was just trying to mentally like comprehend what just happened. But yeah, dude, shout out to the Blazers, especially after firing their head coach.
134, dead last.
Oh, they beat Memphis. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Which that group of 5 playoff spot is going to be a dog fight, dude.
Yeah, South Florida just popped out.
UNT just beat a pretty decent UTSA team by like 30, and obviously South Florida's rolling. I think they're going to end up getting it. And then you still have got what? I mean, Memphis is technically still in it, but
you got South Florida's now good. Up there.
Dude, you know what's scary is ECU. ECU is 13 points away from being in that conversation.
That's insane to think, dude. And that's insane. But
they have a top offense in the country.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They're elite.
Okay, so I want to get back to obviously these next few weeks, right? Because obviously I think we all can, as a group, agree this Oklahoma State game is going to end up in a W. I mean, regardless of score, it's going to end up in the W column. But, going on, and, we're talking a lot about the BYU game, and rightfully so, because that is easily going to be one of the Big 12 games of the year, especially if we do take care of business against OSU. But the trap game of the century for us is in Manhattan, Kansas next weekend. At a place we have not won at since our legendary season that we had back in 2008.
Dang.
I want to ask y'all real quick, because Kansas State, I'm not saying they're hot by any means right now, but they're starting to get healthier. They've got some familiar guys on that team with Duran Bradley as one of their starting receivers. But, their offense is getting healthy. They're getting Dylan Edwards back. Jace Brown is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated receivers in the country whenever Avery Johnson actually wants to complete a pass. And then you got a guy as mobile as Avery Johnson is, and we just saw how well we did against Sam Levitt, who, in my opinion, is not even close to the athleticism that Avery Johnson has in terms of running. But, for y'all personally, do you think there's a valid point right now to be had that this is a game that we really need to lock in more on than BYU currently?
Yes. Kansas State, Manhattan, bro. That town, Manhattan, K-State's all they got. That place.
I agree.
Growing up a Tech fan, watching my whole life, K-State's been my number one enemy. Even more so than Texas. We knock off Texas more than we knock off K-State.
Yes,
Kansas State is notorious for getting nasty at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. That is their staple. That's what Bill Snyder built. That's what they continue to build. They get all these country guys that are just giant, and they manhandle people. So I'm not saying that this year they're impressive by any means, but I think this is a game that our O-line, I think our D-line can handle, but this is a game that our O-line really needs to focus on, needs to lock in for. We can't have any pre-snap penalties. We can't have any holding calls. This K-State, their line is always on it. They always produce guys. I feel like they have a sneaky big amount of linemen in the NFL that we just don't hear about because they're all late rounders, but they're all just really good college players. So I think yes, I think this is 100% a trap game, and this is one that we need to prepare for, even more so than BYU. BYU, we at least got the advantage of being at home, but this K-State game, that crowd's going to show out.
Yeah.
Snyder Family Field's going to be K-State's had our number for years now, and I really hope it doesn't continue, but they have, and it's they're our kryptonite, and that's the game right now I'm most scared for. And
All right.
I'm not so worried about Avery Johnson. Shout out Jaron Bradley for commenting on Texas Tech Everything's post about Tortillas,
And
which
a
was
dog, man.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I don't think he wanted to leave. I think he got treated really bad when he was here. He was a great player. I think we need to watch Dylan Edwards coming off injury. Dylan Edwards, in my opinion, going into the season was one of my backs to watch, and then got injured. But yeah, I think that's a trap game. AJ, what about you?
Yeah, I'm thinking same thing you brought up. It's the exact same points I've been thinking. Talking to Mason behind the scenes. Talking to Mason quite a bit because we've watched the games now together. So, but yeah, no, it was the same thing. We're saying that the Kent State one's going to be, or not Kent State, Kansas State is going to be a little scary just because Kansas State's an actually quality team. One that it's going to be a hard game for you to win on the road in an atmosphere as big as Manhattan is over there. So, yeah, it's going to be one that's you got to take serious, especially now that you gave up your one loss of the season. Your one loss wins to ASU, so now you have to take every opportunity you get. And if you end up blowing it to Kansas, you're going to end up blowing your chances at the Big 12 even before you get to BYU at home. So, yeah, I agree with what you guys said, but I think we spent 30 minutes talking about all of that. How about we get into the other point that we all are devastatingly, really sad to hear, is that Texas Tech has officially banned tortillas from the game. Our athletic director comes on today saying that basically tortillas are banned. Long story short, I wanted to see what you guys got to say on that. Mason, we'll start with you.
Actually, I'm gonna slide this to JT just because I'm like more of a recent Tech fan, so I don't want to speak too much on it because I feel like I do it a disservice. So JT, I'm gonna let you, as like a lifelong guy, I'll let you get this first.
Growing up as I'm younger, obviously you know the tradition. It's not the main concern of you as it is now. It's gotten bigger over the years, obviously. I've heard two stories on how it started. The one that I hear the most is there was a reporter that came into Lubbock and he was doing a game, and I think it was a TCU guy, and he said Lubbock is nothing but Texas Tech football and tortilla factories.
Yep.
Sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. I know, dude, I had to do this for one of my sports management classes. I got you on this real quick. It was against A&M in '94, if I remember correctly.
Okay, I was going to say that was the second one.
Yeah. I was like, A&M. I think it was A&M. I could be wrong, but I thought that it was A&M.
Yeah. I didn't want to just chip in, but I was like, I want to make sure I at least give this like story because it's an amazing start of a tradition that genuinely has not really affected damn near anybody except people that are sore after they lose here. But anyway, started back in 1994. There was a commentator that came out here for a game out here being Lubbock for a Tech and A&M game. Pretty much said all there is to do out here, or all that there is out here in Lubbock, Texas is Red Raider football and a tortilla factory. Students originally started it with like little bottle caps and kind of just like a big, screw you. And it ended up being tortillas. And fan base took it on. Students, obviously, that's literally one of the best things that we do is throw tortillas during games. Sometimes we may take it a little bit far, freezing them and trying to play dodgeball with players. But besides that, it's been a phenomenal tradition. And I'll hand it back to you, JT. But that was like the little behind the scenes.
Yeah, I should have known it wasn't. See, so I've heard so many stories about like TCU, but I'm like, we barely played TCU back then. Like it was Southwest.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it was either that or A&M. So I'm glad you clarified that because I always said both.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, growing up as a fan, like obviously, like it's been a tradition. I obviously really didn't care about it much until I got older, because you don't really focus on that as a kid. Like you focus on the football and you focus on the outside stuff.
Yeah.
For me, it's the biggest it's ever been now. With throwing them, I mean, people used to do it, but not to the extent now. Students have really caught on. For me, it's sad, just growing up, coming to games, watching it happen, like since I was 3 years old. So it kind of hits a little close to home for me. But no, I disagree with it. There's so many other things that we should be worried about. Like, for example, ASU, the goalpost going down, it almost hit Cam Dickey on the head. It almost hit 6 students, a police officer. Like, why aren't we worried about stuff like that? Why aren't we worried about safety regulations? Like, I understand that this is considered a safety hazard, but if you get injured from a tortilla, that's on you. It's probably the softest object in the world.
I don't know how you get hurt with that when you have full padding on.
Food. Yeah, the whole thing with people saying it like waste food, like it's bad to clean up. I don't think people really understand that. Like, I've had a lot of my friends back at home. They're like, "Well, it interrupts the game flow." It doesn't. A kickoff is a change of possession. You typically have media timeouts. That means you have 3 minutes to clean everything off. Like it really, it's mainly, it's not the throwing of them itself. It's the small amount of people that direct it and try and hit the players. That's the issue. And a lot of it's put on students, but in reality, it's not the students. Like, the alumni side does it more so than the students do. And it's everyone combined. It's not just the students. It's always been that way. Like, we had a giant meeting with athletics, and I won't go into detail about it, but we were trying to come up with alternatives. But the main issue is people bring them in packs, and you have 8 of them, all of them in a pack. You pass them out to your friends, you have some extras, so you're going to throw it more than once because you obviously want to get rid of them, right? So if we were so concerned about keeping this tradition, which is really unique, it's one of the most unique traditions in college football, like just all over. Like, the story behind it is great, and obviously I'm biased. Like, some people think it's stupid, which it is a little stupid, but it's something that's near and dear to Tech fans and students and alumni, and it's really sad that this is the Big 12's main concern at the moment when you have this terrible officiating in all games. Games. And I'm gonna go back to the ASU game. One of their big plays, that dude was half of his body was offsides. That's
we've all seen. I think everybody has seen that screenshot. And the worst part about that was, JT, is if you watch the broadcast, he points out to report, right? And the ref tells him he's good, and then immediately the ref throws the flag and then picks it right back up. I guess is like, oh shoot, I did tell him he was good. Like, you just you can't do that as a D1 ref. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but like,
no, you do. It's just
that or the roughing the passer.
Yeah. The roughing the passer.
I mean,
it was still BS, but.
I mean, the only problem with that roughing the passer was he drug him to the ground, but at the same time, like, it was, I think in slow motion, yeah, you could see that he drug him to the ground, or how long the ball was out before that. But I think live during the play on a 4th down, I think that was the last thing Bailey was thinking did that ball come out?
It was soft.
Yeah.
No, just with all these issues and all these other things, like, it's just, I forgot what game I was watching. It was another Big 12 game. I think it was the Cincinnati-Iowa State game. Some Iowa State player, one of the Cincinnati fans, took his helmet from him. And he had to go get it back, and he resorted to violence, like having to hit
Iowa State Colorado game. Yeah.
Colorado, yeah, it was one of those two.
Yeah.
No fine, nothing. They removed Colorado's fine. It's things like that where you get 25,000 for rushing the field. Arizona State was harassing our players after the game. No fine there. I don't even see, they haven't even gotten a fine for rushing the field, which the NCAA is the one that permitted that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that's only $25,000, and yet here we are talking about probably the softest food item in the world, and that's $100,000 per throw. And if this is our biggest concern, we've hit rock bottom as a college football fan base, as a conference, as everything. If these items right here are our biggest concern, you've hit
them on spot. Yeah.
Well, yeah. These are Red Raider Outfitter imprinted tortillas, but
no shit. I got you.
I think this is just a disgrace. I really do. You're taking away an experience from people, man. Like, it's all for what? You just want a money grab out of it. If Kirby thinks this warning is going to make us stop, knowing Tech fans, it's only going to make it worse. This tradition is not going to go away. And I think we need to hold out for the rest of the year. I really do, because there's 3 home games left. I think we can deal with it and let the off season work. Let's work it on the off season. Let's get it back because it will come back eventually. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's not going to go forever. They're going to find a way around it, like we always do.
Yeah.
But I don't like Kirby going back on his word. I don't like the reaction from the donors. I don't like Cody Campbell's reaction. I don't like Dusty Walden's reaction to it. Like it's just, I don't know. I really, there's a lot more I could say, but I'm tossing it to y'all.
No, I'm kind of catching what you're putting down, and I want to piggyback off you, JT, because I'm kind of at the point now where it's like, screw it, it needs to be said. One of the greatest things that happened to Tech was Cody Campbell, but one of the worst things that could happen also is Cody Campbell. Because when you think about the fact that, yes, we have all this money and it's great. It is bountiful. We're one of the most resourceful schools right now in the country in terms of our oil and natural gas and everything like that. But the one thing that's always killed us, and it's going to continue to kill us, is the fact that when you have a team that is $28 million in value and is pretty much the same value as an Alabama and as Ohio State and as a Tennessee, and we're losing games to an Arizona State that, in my opinion, talent-wise and even on paper, should have had no, type of any type of really competition in this game. We were favored by 8.5 with our backup as a starter, right? So it's one of those things where, with all of these great things come great expectations, come great responsibilities, and all this tortilla stuff feels more of a I don't feel like they're fighting for us as a school right now. It's more of a, hey, let's just save money. Let's just abide by whatever the Big 12 wants us to do. You know what I mean? That's not what Tech is about. Even growing up as a TCU fan in Fort Worth, because half my family went there, I always remember Tech for being one of the most just obnoxious, rambunctious. They're your typical Western. They don't they don't give a hoot. Yeah, they don't you know what I mean? They're all for their school. They're all for the school. That's not saying Cody Campbell isn't, because if you give up that much money, you love your school. But also the politics that he also brings into this is going to end up killing us, because I won't do that. But anyway, regardless, you have all these big money donors and it's great. But the problem is, and I think the one thing our fan base has got to realize, we deserve some of this criticism because we do have a $28 million roster. We pretty much almost have the equivalent of a minor league football team right now. And when you have guys that are going to be a top 15 pick and David Bailey, and probably a day 2 pick easily, and Jacob Rodriguez, Romello Height, Skylar Gill Howard, you got NFL guys.
I think
almost damn near at every position.
Real quick, I think Rodriguez sneaks up in the first round with how good he's been playing this year. I know he's a linebacker, but
he was disappointing against Arizona State. That's going to kill it. If you're coming from Tech and you're off the radar going into the season, and yet you overperform, you have to be elite every week if you're from Tech. That's how it's always been. Crabtree and Harold didn't even get led to New York for the Heisman.
Rodriguez still had three forced fumbles on the day yesterday last.
You also got to think age though too, AJ. That's another thing, because if he was only going into his 3rd year in college, easily could be a 1st round pick. Yeah. But the fact is, he also, I think, spent a year or 2 at Virginia, and then he's on his 3rd year here at Tech. Yeah, but he's still a dog. He's going to be an NFL guy.
Yeah.
But my pretty much point is the fact that we've got NFL cats at every position. Us as fans, we're unfamiliar.
Rodriguez is going to follow like a Jordan Brooks.
Yeah, he's going to end up being a tackle leader for a team. Pretty underrated cat, you know what I mean? And, hey, shout out to Jordan Brooks. And even an OG, and I think, JT, you'll know this one, Pete Robertson. That was a dog Tech had in the early 2010s that I thought should have been an NFL guy. But I think he's in the CFO right now, if I remember correctly. Yeah, but I just, to finish off my part, and AJ, obviously I'll let you get your point, but just to kind of piggyback off you, JT, I agree. I mean, it feels like we just succumbed pretty much to what the Big 12 wanted, and that's not what Tech is about, right? And even Kirby, and that's what I think. There's another thing that's pissing fans off right now is that when all this started in August, and he made that statement that they could change a rule, but they can't change our tradition.
Yeah.
Well, how many months ago was that? We're October 20th.
When we were saying 15-1. I mean, the slogan for the year was 15-1. And now
That's what I'm saying. Now it's 16-0.
Yeah. We lost.
I mean,
we lost our own AD.
But I'm not going to blame Kirby for this because the people that really make the decisions for this school are the ones that got their name plaques in the driveway in front of the facility. So I'll leave it at that. But if anybody deserves the blame, look at the guys that are the multi-billion-dollar pretty much owners currently of Tech right now. But AJ, on to you.
I mean, on top of that, I would say Joey probably is saying to Kirby, we do not want to be starting drives on the 40, and then look who our next home game's against, BYU, or not OSU, but the BYU one. Can we afford a 40-point drop or starting BYU at the 40? So I can see Joey also finally saying enough is enough, because even in his press conference versus Kansas, he made the statement like, that first one almost cost us. Luckily, we were able to score, but it still almost cost us. Like, it could have been one that cost us. And he even ended it with saying, one of these times it's going to come back to bite us. And I'm like, you're right, because I said the same thing at the time. I said it when Kansas happened. I was like, ooh, I don't really want to be giving up 15 yards easily. And I was like, imagine you're playing a playoff game. We've been talking all season saying we wanted to host a playoff game. We won't. If you give up a 15-yarder to OSU or whoever, you can't afford that. What were you saying, JT?
Yeah. The playoffs different because it's not a Big 12 game, so it won't count. We can still see. Okay, so this is the thing too with the rule, right? Don't ban them entirely. Just do it for Big 12 play, because if it's not Big 12, you're allowed to do it without. There's no fine.
Yeah.
So if we do,
I'm glad you pointed that out. Yeah.
I mean, but I think it'd still be the 15-yard penalty, wouldn't it?
Mm-mm.
No,
because it's not a Big 12 game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an
NCAA. I'm just thinking it would still be like a universal delay of game call.
Oh, see, and that's the problem with everyone crapping on it. It's supposed to be on a kickoff. I know people do it on first and second down. Like that's on them. That's maybe 50 people out of the 65,000 in that stadium, right? Like that's easy to take care of. Stone Harrington kicks a touchback 99.9% of the time, right? Yeah. It's going to be a dead ball, change of possession, like all that. That's always a TV timeout at least, right? That's 2.5, 3 minutes between game time. Yep. If you're throwing them at the kickoff and you know it's going to be a touchback, how does that affect anything?
And our security guards are prepared for it, so they stand at the sideline to get the ones on the field off. It's the ones that are by the cheerleaders that would be the dangerous ones.
That's what I'm saying. So if we can find a way to just make sure everyone only does it at the kickoff, there's no reason why the Big 12 should have a problem with it, because it's not affecting gameplay. It's not a safety hazard. People are just standing still. It's not like you're running and you throw one under their foot and they slip and tear their ACL.
And that's what I said. I was like, I made a comment to my mom about it. I was like, if you step on one, your cleat's gonna break it. Like, it's not like at all that it's a banana peel and you're gonna slip. No, you're just gonna break it.
I think the last straw was Lance Leopold or whatever his name is, whatever. Incident that ended up being him. I think that was the last straw because it had our name tied to it, and that just ruined everything. And it turned out wasn't even us, all this stuff, but yet somehow we're always roped back into this. I mean, there were tortillas at Arizona State. There was few of them, but there were some. We saw them flying. But it's what are you? So here's my question, right? If we're playing away, we're playing at ASU, and if every single Tech fan there had a tortilla and could reach the field, and they all got on the field, does ASU get penalized? Because technically that's their home stadium and there's objects on the field. So if that rule of throwing things on the field applies to the Big 12 and it's not just directed at us,
it should be true.
They can fine since it's their home field. They can't like, obviously when we're at home you can tell it's Tech fans, but like if you're ASU, I get it's a tortilla that's linked to us, but who's to say that it was us?
Yeah.
You're at someone else's field. I mean, so what happens?
If you're an ASU fan, you can test that theory out and throw it out yourself and then throw out a tortilla, and then it would be linked to, you can see which side it would be. I mean, it's not something I would say it's smart to do, but I mean, maybe in a clutch situation, you might want it 15 yards.
Yeah. Who's to prevent OSU fans this weekend? Because there's probably going to be a good amount of them because it's not about a drive. Who's to prevent? Who's to say that OSU fans won't try and do that?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Like that's because I guarantee you, security's not going to check OSU fans. They're only going to check Tech fans. Hell, security doesn't even check the Tech fans as it is.
Oh, they will now. Did you see that sign outside?
Yeah.
They'll check us now.
How can we guarantee that OSU fans who hate us aren't going to come in here throwing tortillas and giving us penalties?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like
and mind you,
this whole rule that's directed at us, because it is directed at us, whether they say it is or it isn't, it's directed at Tech. This whole rule needs to get revamped and changed and rethought out, because if this rule is supposed to apply to everyone, why didn't Utah get penalized when we threw tortillas on the field at their place? Why did Texas last year against Georgia get a call reversed with no fine, throwing over 1,000 water bottles onto the field, hitting security officials, hitting cheerleaders, yet it was nowhere close to a $100,000 fine? This is where we need to draw the line in college football, and this is where we need to really figure out what the hell we're doing, because tortillas, it should be the least of the concerns right now.
Yeah, I agree. And I also, and another notable thing that happened, like I was telling AJ this earlier, like I was like, I want to say 7 to 8 years ago, and it was with Oklahoma State. Funny enough, they have their paddle people, right? And they used to, but for the longest time though, like during their like kind of prime years and everything like that, the 2000s, the early 2010s, they would constantly hit those on the side of that wall for the entirety of the game. Like, they never stopped. The Big 12 had to step in because coaches ended up complaining about it, to the point where they made the rule now for the Big 12 where they cannot, and you'll probably, like, I don't know last year if y'all noticed it when we were up there, but, like, they have to quit doing that while while a play is about to start. So they can do it in between plays and, like, dead ball moments and stuff like that. But the second that, the ref blows the whistle to, start the clock, or like the ball's in play, they have to stop. So it's already been one kind of tradition, even though it's only a little group of, fans for OSU. But it's like, why do you do this now? This is something you should have done 28 years ago, right? All right.
Oh, there he is. He's coming back.
Okay.
What happened?
I was so confused.
You just went horns down and then it disappeared. I was like, okay.
I was adding on to that point. This gesture right here.
Yes, they literally penalize teams for doing it. Yes, like the Big 12 is notorious for this stuff. And like Brett, you're
this concerned about this hand motion because it's considered offensive.
Yes, like it's insane.
Your precious little UT and your precious little OU, they left you.
They're gone. A&M's gone. Nebraska's gone. Missouri's gone. I mean, it's one of those. I mean, as much as like I know partially our team, like our schools, like overreacted a little with like SEC stuff, but I'm like, honestly, if I said this, and I think this isn't something that's really a long shot, but the Big Ten, especially, they've already been, they're already on the West Coast now. They have no teams in the Texas market at all. What's to stop them from going after a team? I know our academics are not what you would consider really for the Big Ten, which I think is what prevents that. But I mean, it's one of those things where it kind of feels like we're getting constantly just bullied right now by literally every other school in this conference, and obviously Brett Yormark, who I think's a dork, but regardless, he's a good businessman. But still, it's insane.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the chance this weekend because it's going to be insane. And I think SEC is a better move marketing wise for us. Big Ten's more so Fox. I hate Fox. I'd rather get the deal with ESPN, especially for the basketball.
Yeah,
I'd rather go to the SEC for basketball than Big Ten. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with super conferences. We could see ourselves in an SEC type super conference in 5 years. Yeah. It's things like that. College football is always changing. It's just this really hit hard, and it hit a lot of people around the country because this is what we're notorious for.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how people know us. Is
I mean, imagine what Mississippi State fans are thinking right now with their cowbells.
Yep.
I mean,
College football even added
stopping
it.
Yeah, and then like TCU, for example, they got that frog horn in the end zone. What's stopping the Big 12 from going, that's a hazard? What if a player runs into it's a train horn? You know what I mean? Like, what happens if a player runs into that? Why isn't that something that's also getting considered? But simply corn tortillas.
I think the next thing to go is Baylor's students running on the field with the team before the game.
Yeah,
it's harmless. They've done it for years. Yes. But I see, knowing what's happening right now, that's the next thing to go. It really is.
Yeah, because it's a risk because there's that many people.
If we're doing the whole rushing the field stuff and getting fines, that's rushing the field, regardless if it's before the game. It's rushing the field.
Because they love technicalities now. They love technicalities.
If we're gonna go this deep with tortillas, we gotta go this deep with Baylor. I'm sorry. I love Baylor. I love that Baylor does that. I think it's great. That's their own little thing. Love that they do that. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's like, as a tech fan now, and we're getting snubbed out of this stuff. If we're really gonna dig that deep, that's considered rushing the field. It is.
Yeah. I mean.
I think,
and also, what about like with BYU and the stuff they do during like ad breaks with all the fire and stuff on the field and like
Cosmo set himself on fire this year.
Yeah, it's not contained flames for the most part. I mean, it's stuff like it's on a tiki torch.
I don't remember who BYU was playing, but we were watching the game and Cosmo set himself on fire, so they had to pull out something or whatever. And so,
who's to say for Colorado running Ralphie's safe?
That's one I've never understood. It's literally a buffalo.
Yeah.
It's the same with Bebo. Dog. It's the same with Bebo for Texas. I get it. I get it's got a fence, but like,
hell, give me Miss Revelry.
Remember, it's a Bebo attacked Uga.
Yeah, he almost killed him.
Yeah, Bebo attacked
Uga. There's a live buffalo on the field running full speed down the field when the band is out there and other players, and yet we're focused on tortillas.
Mind you, 4 18-year-olds are holding this buffalo too. Just mind you.
Yeah.
So it's so crazy to me that all of a sudden now that we've got a guy that's very big in certain industries as our commissioner, right? That all of a sudden now all of these old gritty traditions and ways of just how college athletics have been slowly starting to kind of fade away and starting to become so commercialized and so just I don't know. It sucks because as a person that's loved college athletics and I've been around it since literally I was an infant, to see how much it's downgraded and it's regressed over the years, it just sucks. Because Tech not having this now, I mean, and so many other things that have just been stopped too due to safety concerns, and I don't know. It's crazy time we're living in.
Respect to Kirby for what he's done this whole attack and trying to fight it off. And I think Kirby, if this was up to him, he would still be allowing it. So I'm not going to blame Kirby on it, but the fact that he ends it with saying, "Oh, I know the Jones is going to be just as loud and the fans will be just as hype." I mean, theoretically, we will, but at the same time, you're killing.
We will be. We'll just be doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, and also, you're killing the thing that made us have the most fun. It was the thing that we were all thrilled. We knocked to each other on the sideline. We're like, "Hey, you got a tortilla? I forgot mine." We do everything we possibly could to.
Dude, I built so many relationships just off of meeting people doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's so funny. If a literal corn tortilla or flour tortilla is the reason I have half the friends I do.
Yeah.
But and it's one of those things where it's it's just deeper than corn tortillas and flour tortillas. But literally it is. You know what I mean? JT, with your parents, right? They experienced it probably from its infancy when it first started. And, now to where we're at, being in college, and it's a tradition thing. Same thing with A&M and the way that they do things. And that's as much crap as we give A&M. I will always respect the fact that they always keep their traditions and they never abide to certain things.
Even when a person dies from it. A person dies from it and they still keep doing the bonfires.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where it's
I ain't gonna lie, their bonfires are sketchy, but at least they still do it.
But it's one of those things where it's they're a weird cult, but it's kind of as Red Raider fans, as much I hate saying it, I'm not a diehard or anything, but we're kind of similar in that aspect where both of our schools are very loyal schools. Like our fan bases are very loyal. Like we'll show up to teams when they're 3-9 and have no chance in anything, and this just kind of feels like you're killing one of the things that made us special because no one else did this. This isn't like a "We Are Penn State" chant. This isn't like one of those little things that every school tries to, recreate. We had something that was so unique. It's in the damn college football game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll let y'all talk.
It's like Wisconsin's jump around for football, but UNC jump around for basketball. Like it's not just one set thing.
Yeah, you can't find anywhere else.
I mean, we got swag surfing, but at the same time, swag surfing ain't the same thing.
That's Auburn's.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like swag surfing it's a cool idea, but I don't count that as our tradition. That's just like our fun little get hype. I mean, basketball I think does it way better.
I think we do it better than most people.
Yeah, but I think like basketball they do it the best because like when we have momentum, that's when we decide to pop it out.
Yeah.
I'm equating this tortilla thing is to like 2 examples. Taking away the Clemson Howard Rock entrance because of that steep hill. It's like taking that away. And it's like taking away Chief Osceola from Florida State.
Yeah.
It's something you've grown accustomed to. And Florida State has more grounds for it to be taken away. But obviously the Seminole tribe in Tallahassee won't let that happen because the university and them have a pact. And they want that to happen. But it's like taking that away from Florida State. It's taking the main tradition that they've had is that spear going into center field. Same with USC.
Mm-hmm.
I was just about to say, yeah.
Chief Osceola is better known, in my opinion. It's like taking away the eagle for Auburn. Like the story.
You can't forget
the story behind the War Eagle is probably one of the best stories I've ever heard. It's like taking that away from them, and that's
You can't forget the Oregon Duck being on a literal motorcycle going into the stadium or into the field. Yes, it's so nitpicky. It's so nitpicky. Like, and that's the one thing I think that bothers me, that bothers all of us, is that this is such.
Understand that? Like it's all these things that people are known for, and they all get to keep them. We're the first one where it's getting taken away, and it's just. I don't know. I don't really know where to go about it, honestly.
And my defense is like if we were throwing water bottles or something like hard that could hurt people, hell yeah, get rid of that shit. But it's the fact that we're throwing a flour tortilla that it is gonna be taken away. Every single one of us has been hit by a tortilla, and what does our first reaction do? Look behind us, see if we find the person, but we're like, oh well. I mean, I can't tell who it is. But it just hits us.
I've been hit in the head millions of times with the tortilla.
Yeah.
These guys have helmets and pads on.
Yeah.
They don't even feel it.
That's what I'm saying. Our first reaction is just to look behind us. It's not, ow, my arm hurts from that tortilla that just got tossed. It was like, oh, who did that? Oh, is it you? Oh, wait, nope. Everybody else behind me did it.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it went every week.
Last year, my buddy came and visited for the Colorado game. And he was asking me about the tortillas because that's when we had Big Noon. And Big Noon, that's all they talked about. I don't give them any credit. That's all Big Noon talked about was our damn tortillas. They didn't say anything else about the school, which technically...
They made a lot of money off of it, too. But
they did.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that clip. That clip is amazing.
Because I had to get him a separate game ticket just for that game. And, because, I mean, it was Colorado last year. It was pretty lit.
See if I can find it.
I have a video of that tortilla talk, because that's probably one of the best ones I've experienced. And in the background, I just hear him going, holy shit, like that. Just no one experienced it. My friend who was here for the campus game, she said the same thing. She's like, that is so weird, but it is so cool. Like, it's little things like that. And that's that video of my friend that goes, holy shit, like that, or whatever. That'll forever, like, stay in my head, because that is something that when people come to tech, they know, they're like, what the hell is this about? It's cool. And then they see it happen live, and they're like, that's probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. And, my first ever time in the Jones, like, outside of just traveling with the school, was the Oregon game in 23. One of the most insane environments I've ever been to. And, for me, growing, I'd been in Glendale for the Fiesta Bowl between TCU and Michigan, and I've seen all these crazy environments, but you don't really realize what a crazy environment is until you see about 50,000 flour and corn tortillas just flying in the air, and you're just like, you kind of pause in time and you go like just damn, like, you know what I mean? It's something unique, and JT, like you said, people that aren't from Tech, or they don't go to Tech, or they're not from Lubbock. You kind of think it's just stupid rednecks doing just redneck stuff, but I mean, the meaning behind it is great. As much as it literally, and by the way, for all the people that say we waste the tortillas, all those tortillas get collected and they're donated to pig farms. So it's not like
Oh, I
they're
didn't
just
even
going
know
in
that.
trash cans.
I didn't even know that.
Yes.
They're donated to pig farms, horse stables, like they're used as feed.
I did not. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
They don't get wasted, and that's another thing that like irks me is like that also helps the ag side of our school too. So that's a lot of food they don't have to pay for.
Yep, it helps farmers, which is the backbone of America.
See, and one of the things I made the comment. Yeah.
Commissioner's food, by the way.
Yeah. AJ, what were you saying?
Just agreeing with you guys, and I'm like, that's exactly what like we're known for. That's what people love to show up for.
Yeah.
Like that was the first thing every single one of us as a freshman were wanting to do our first game. We saw all these tortillas being tossed, and we're like, I can't wait till I'm finally part of that fan base and I can do it. I mean, you got teams from the other side. I mean, I can imagine a Kent State fan showing up earlier this year wanting to we'll use my uncle. My uncle was a Kent State fan. He talked about coming to this game. I figured the one thing he would want to do was grab a tortilla and throw it with us just because it's something unique. It's something that nobody's seen before, and it's just sad that we're losing that. I mean, I can't. It's just, yeah, it hurts. It hurts to see this, and I mean,
it's tough now. Here we are in a football setting, having to talk about something so small as this right here, when it has nothing to do with the game.
And I mean, this last 10 minutes, 5 minutes, I've been just playing YouTube shorts of us throwing tortillas. I've not seen one person go, ow.
No, dude, it's sad, man. And I think one thing that we can all agree on too with this is kind of that transition now with NIL and how much players are being paid, and now they're pretty much considered employees now of the school, and now that's why they're taking all these health protocols and all this stuff more serious, because now money's involved with it. It's not just scholarships and room and board anymore. Now you got guys like Baron Morton who literally have 150-acre ranches that they're leasing as a grad student in college. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's crazy, but that's probably one of the smartest business decisions.
Oh, dude, bro, and Will Hammond also, he bought a house, and he's whatchamacallit? He's good God, Airbnb, like doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's great. Like, I love the fact that players are getting the money that they should have been getting for decades now. I mean, it was one of the reasons that Reggie Bush had his Heisman taken away, was because of improper benefits that were given to him. Thankfully, it's back now. But yeah, we're kind of in that that smoke right now of it's still amateur, but they're getting paid more than professionals. So how do we kind of juggle this right now, and then on top of it being still abiding by academic stuff and still abiding by legal protocol now, and then you got all the politics side of it now, and now you've got the booster side and all the it's just it's such a complete mess, and this is just another casualty of that, because now schools are going to use hey, we have all these, and I hate to refer to them as that, but investments that we don't want to get messed up. So now they're going to use tortillas as kind of a reasoning. And, everybody's moaned and groaned about it for the past, decade or two. But they've always grown to appreciate it because it's unique. And like all of us have stated, and we've kind of sound like broken records at this point, it's very unique. You won't find it anywhere else. And this is another casualty that comes from the new age of college football.
I found the video I was looking for. Best college football traditions. I remember watching this over the summer. And guess which one is up there? Lubbock's toss. And then you get to see, look at it. The Fox Sport guys are on there with them, tossing it right back. And they're getting tossed at, and yet nobody's complaining. I mean, they're all ducking and they're all having fun. Urban Meyer throws one back right here.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fun tradition. It's what we're known for. And you see on the kickoff, look at all the tortillas fly. It's just what makes us us. So losing that is just god-awful. It's just losing what made you you. I mean, and look, even in the start of that Colorado game, we're watching it back, none of those tortillas on the field impact this play. I mean, they're everywhere on this field.
Dude, Travis Hunter literally picked one up and stuffed it as a memory. Like, it's not affecting them. Dion thought it was great. Like, it's just, literally there's been no negative feedback other than coaches that have lost and the commissioner.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all remember last year, but during our family weekend game when Cincinnati's head coach actually moaned and groaned about it. I know it wasn't really covered as much because it wasn't as big of a deal because both teams are kind of mid, but it was one of those things where that kind of started this trend of, well, we just got pretty much whooped, but we can now use the all these objects we're going to throw on the field.
We didn't even really whoop them. We won because it was the last second field goal. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But in their minds, they're like, but how can they throw all this stuff, but we can't? And it's yada yada yada. And it's one of those things where it's just a college football thing. Like, you can't do it literally anywhere else, but they've been allowing it for 3 decades. And the fact that now we're like, now is the time to do it, right as Tech is finally starting to become the face of the Big 12. And I don't care what anybody else says. We have easily one of, if not the best athletic departments in the country right now.
Almost everybody's
all
ranked.
Almost
everybody's ranked.
That's what I'm saying. Outside of baseball.
Okay, well, yeah.
We're pretty much there.
Baseball took an 18-1 loss against OU.
Stop.
Hey, we're not talking about that. We'll get back to football.
We don't gotta talk about that.
Don't talk about that.
You know what's scary? It's really scary for me. I remember when baseball was like the fun times for Tech.
Young brothers, man.
But I mean,
just simply them.
Going back and then go back to that. Football's ranked. Basketball's ranked. But only FBS team only at the time with 2 in the top 10.
Yeah.
No longer anymore with us dropping to 15.
Women's soccer second.
Women's soccer just got ranked second or third.
Softball's 1.
Softball's ranked number 1 because they just brought in that giant transfer portal.
Women's track and field is 2. Men's
track dominant.
The men and women's track is dominant. It's just like
men's golf is top 10.
Yeah, I mean, one of my buddies is on the team.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, we're finally looking like a franchise, or like, I don't know what the word, powerhouse, and they want to cut us at our legs, which is like, what in the world? Don't you need hey, I'm sorry to say it, the Big 12 needs a powerhouse right now. You need somebody to be the big namer, because right now.
Speaking of that, which I'm glad you brought that up, the Big 12 should be more worried about Kansas and Iowa State and Kansas State. Iowa State in the next 2 years will be a bottom feeder, and we're seeing results this year. They don't have the money to keep up. Kansas doesn't have the money to keep up. Yes, they just built that new stadium. Tech did everything perfectly. They started building the new facility before the NIL stuff got passed. That way we had the leftover funds to go get players. Teams now are having to struggle to do both. We had already had one completed and paid for before we got the players. Teams now are having to do both at the same time. Kansas doesn't have the funds to do both. Iowa State doesn't have the funds to do either. Cincinnati's landlocked with Nippert, and they can't really move their facilities.
I mean, they can't even get their best recruits out of
Kansas State. Kansas State Stadium is beautiful, but they don't have the money to pay the players.
Yeah.
Baylor, I mean, they got good grads. They got some pretty rich grads. All that money's going to go to the school system and not athletics. TCU's facility, I know they have the brand new players facility, but that stadium's brand new. They're not going to go spend all their money on players.
Yeah.
Like West Virginia's got a new facility. Stadium's landlocked. They don't got the money to spend on players. UCF, I'm sure they have some money. Like,
we send them back to the American, dog. They have not done. I'll let you continue, JT, but that's one school that I really regret.
Basketball's not awful.
Yeah, but outside of that though, I mean, baseball's okay, but yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
OSU, who do you have now? Who's the big donor?
Yeah.
Like
unless T Boone somehow comes back from the dead, they ain't really got anybody.
Like, you lost your two biggest revenues with OU and Texas, which they were by far. And I'd say Tech was third. They were. And now we're first. And yet you're taking away stuff from your big market program. I'd say BYU and Utah are up there. They got the funds.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, BYU especially, dude. They've got that crazy money.
I'll give you BYU, yeah.
Arizona State's got funding. Like, it's all these new schools are coming in, but if you want the face of the Big 12 right now is us. And it's going to remain like that in the next 5 to 10 years. And the Big 12 is going to strip everything from us.
Yeah.
Yet they let Texas get away with so much. They let OU get away with so much.
I mean, Texas had the Longhorn Network. They were the only one with it.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have a Big 12 network. Like, why did Texas just get their own instead of a Big 12 network? I'm glad TNT's picking that up now. But, like, this Texas, going back to the old Big 12, like, Texas, all these phantom calls that would just pop out of nowhere. And they're down 20 in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes left, yet they win by 1. It's just, it was a constant theme. And then OU was just OU. Like, OU just won. Going into Norman and winning was impossible, and it still is. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's just the Big 12 babied Texas so much because it generated so much for them, and that's now what Tech is doing, and yet they're choosing to do the opposite, which is screwing us over.
Yeah.
And, again, Texas just got the princess treatment. Like, all these phantom calls that Texas would used to get. And, Mason, growing up as a TCU fan, I know you experienced it. Like, all these phantom calls that would just come out of these refs' asses and given to Texas.
Yeah, man.
And yet it was because they were the face of the Big 12, and then now we're the face of the new Big 12, and it's like roles are completely reversed.
Yeah.
No, you hit that literally smack dab, like, on the point. I mean, one of my first ever games growing up was going to I think it was the first time when TCU was in the Big 12 and Texas came to Fort Worth. And I mean, dog, from the get-go, you could tell what type of game it was going to be. A lot more lenience when it came to, Texas's O-line versus, this small little school coming from the Mountain West, right? And, I think they kind of almost look at Tech as just these outsiders because, we're the school that's like, oh, hey, remember us? Like, we're also the other school in Texas. Because for the longest time, we kind of were always just looked at as, oh, you're just a little brother to the others. I mean, outside of Baylor, really. But, like, to Tech, yeah.
Just want to say, growing up as a guy in East Texas, especially by Baylor and Texas University, I didn't even know about Tech till literally sophomore, junior year. So
yeah, it's just
it was never one that we thought of. It was thought about in the east side of Texas. Now, when we did all this money situation, everybody back home is talking about Tech, and I'm not even saying that because of me. It's literally like
Tech has the face of the nation, honestly.
Yeah,
money spending.
Like in terms of NIL, yeah.
Like even
I
was just saying, like even people that when we had the big game in softball, I was at home for that, and I remember I could be obnoxious about it. I knew we were playing Texas because I had a bunch of people from Texas. But they actually gave me some credit. They looked at us as Texas Tech fans and said, like, look, oh, crap, where the hell did y'all come from?
Yeah, I still wish we beat them. But no, like, see, this is what I'm saying. Now that Tech's doing it, it's not okay. Again, you two grew up in Texas. I grew up in North Carolina, but obviously being a Big 12 fan, like, I grew up with it as well. Texas has been doing this for 20 years. They've had the donors for 20 years. McConaughey's donated so much. Glenn Powell donated so much. They've had all these big-name donors for years now. Top-of-the-line facilities, all this stuff. Ohio State, AJ, has had it for years.
Yeah.
Michigan has had it for years.
Okay.
USC, UCLA.
They got Barstool. I was supposed to say, Michigan's got Barstool behind them.
Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, you have the owner, literally an alum.
All these schools pre-NIL have had this. And now that it's legal and we're doing it, it's not okay.
Yep.
Well, JT, one of the funniest things is I'm glad you pointed out Oregon in this because Oregon seems to always evade this damn discussion, and I feel like it needs to be talked about. Now, I know for me growing up, and JT, you also being a big college football guy growing up as well, I always adored Oregon because of the uniforms, right? Always loved them. That's what I'm saying. All good. Yeah. But you know what, though? That was almost like one of those kind of, I mean, it's legal, but it's one of those, hey, come be a part of Nike, and you're not gonna get paid jack, but we'll give you, all this gear, we'll give you all they were kind of the early start of, if you want to say, NIL, because I mean, you look at cats like DeAnthony Thomas, like statistically was nothing crazy, but dog, the fact that he was on that team, it boosted his name, image, and likeness. And ended up him being literally pretty much on the same level as Tavon Austin. I feel like actual ball knowers would respect DeAnthony a little bit more than Tavon. I love Tavon, but DeAnthony was kind of just that guy, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, this has been going on forever. And I mean, a big one, and another school has been doing this since damn near the 80s and 70s. A&M. I mean, let's talk about the Eric Dickerson story, right? Eric Dickerson was supposed to go to A&M. They bought him I think it was a Camaro or a Mustang or something, right? Yeah. And then they ended up getting kind of caught up in that. Mind you, nothing ever happened to A&M. SMU did get the death penalty, which I think is ironic.
Look at SMU. And SMU not a big name either.
No. I mean, they do. They got some sneaky good alum support. I think that people definitely need to watch for.
SMU is sleeper of everything. I think.
Yes.
I know we're not talking basketball right now. I think they're on the table in the ACC for basketball this year.
Dude, they've recruited like a mug. I will say they may be one of the most improved teams this year in college basketball.
They got that guard from Duncanville, I think.
Yes, they did.
Maybe it's not Duncanville. It's one of the schools there.
They got some NBA player's son too. I don't remember his name, but
But see, and again, Alabama's been doing this for years. I mean, you can't tell me Nick Saban didn't build that empire at Alabama without the funding of.
No shot at Nick Saban, but there is a reason why he left when the playing field got even. But I'll keep it at that.
Yeah, we saw I don't remember who it was, but somebody made the comment on Saban on game day to Saban. It was like Alabama. Oh, what happens when Alabama can actually or can't pay their players or whatever behind the backs? I don't remember what the comment was. I just remember him.
It was a Hall of Fame coach. There's no doubt to that, but I'm just saying, like, there is a reason why he definitely and times were changing, and I also understand from that aspect because honestly, he did the better thing by going to TV because. I mean, he's living his life right now, so shout out to Coach Nick Saban.
And I mean, look at coaches who would have done the same thing Saban did. Look at Dabo, look at Gundy, look at what they're saying right now.
So Dabo has no excuse. Clemson's alumni base.
Yeah, Dabo.
Well, no, I'm just saying he tried to go against he tried to fight the portal and it didn't work.
Very fair point. And I think the difference with Saban is the way that the money was flowing in with NIL that was different. The money was donated through the school and then split by school and athletic. And that's how it used to be. And that's how Saban could get all these recruits is because of the name of the coach. Now it's coming direct from the donors. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where Saban still deserved all of his flowers. He's by far the best coach in college football history. And he always will be. But
hated the guy, but I gotta give him the credit.
Look right now. Kalen DeBoer does not have the recruiting power and does not have the coaching ability that Nick Saban had, right? Nick Saban did it without the NIL era. Kalen DeBoer is 3 times less of the coach that Nick Saban is, and look at what he's doing at Alabama right now.
Off topic. I'm pulling up videos the whole time we're talking. CBS Chicago is talking about it, just saying Texas Tech has officially banned the tortilla. So even outside media is talking about our shit. Is talking about our tortillas and how sad it is to leave. I don't get why the Big 12 is fighting the knees.
Even me for basketball, growing up in North Carolina with Duke and UNC and NC State, like it all happened under the table. I'm not Kansas, Kentucky. You can't tell me all these great coaches, Roy Williams, Mike Krzyzewski. Jordan went for free. I know.
No. I'm not saying for Jordan. I'm saying you can use Jordan. I guarantee you, Jordan and his brand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And UNC has used that to their advantage. Now they used it legally to market themselves, which is smart by them. They can claim that all they want because they went there. But it's just, I've seen it for years growing up with basketball, where NC State and Wake Forest have fallen behind because the Dukes and the UNCs obviously had the brand, but they also had the donors backing them. Not in the same sense as NIL, but through the school. And it's just, I think Roy Williams probably could have gone another 10 years, but I think he knew this was coming and he got out. Same with Krzyzewski. Krzyzewski could have gone until he died.
Easily. I think. Yeah, sorry. No, you already had your thing. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, look at Kentucky basketball now. They're nowhere near they were with Calipari because they have, I think, Mark Pope, right, from the old BYU guy.
Yeah, he came from BYU. Yeah.
And look at Calipari at Arkansas. I could argue that Arkansas is going to do better than Kentucky in the long run. For basketball, even football, the coach does matter, and the old traditional way still works. It's just whether or not this new NIL system could back it up. And Nick Saban knew that the new NIL system would benefit other schools more so than Alabama because more schools maybe didn't have more money to give, but people went to Bama for the brand and for Nick Saban. That's why people went to Bama. That's why Amari Cooper went there. That's why Derrick Henry went there, because you knew you could get to the NFL on the brand. Now you're getting paid $500,000 to go to Vanderbilt, get Diego Pavia, and look at him. Now he's an NFL caliber quarterback in people's eyes. I'm not saying in my eyes, but it's just Saban did the smart thing, and it's this whole process. And I could go on for hours about this. And
speaking of which, we are at an hour just talking tortillas.
Yeah, but it's just but see, that's the thing. There's so much more to it than just the tortillas itself.
This is the tip of the iceberg with the issues that are going on in college athletics right now. You know what I mean? And JT, you covered it literally on the spot, especially with basketball. I mean, basketball has been definitely one of the more kind of like under the table type of recruiting you'll really ever see. You know what I mean? Because it's such a scarce market to get players compared to how it is with football. Because you only have a certain amount of guys you can get. There's only a certain amount of, top quality guys you'll get in a recruiting class compared to how it is with football. And I think
NC State was Mark Godfrey. This is it for me. How do you think they got Dennis Smith Jr.? As good as he was, yes, he's from Raleigh, and all the State fans claim that. Mark Godfrey got fired from NC State. Everyone denies why he did. But it's because of the whole DSJ situation, and no one wants to talk about it. But under the table, it didn't make national news because Godfrey got fired because they knew what had happened.
Yep. No, I agree. I agree with you. And I mean, I don't want to keep rambling either because I know we all gotta get things we gotta get done. But this has kind of been the start, and just to kind of sum things back up. And honestly, this is one of those days that we're going to look back and kind of be like, dang, this was the start of something. I don't know what that something's going to be, right? Yeah. This could be, as crazy as it sounds, Tech going to the SEC or the Big Ten, or this is the start of a crazy weekend that I think is going to end up happening at that game.
I think
I imagine there's...
For the record, we are not going to do anything. I'm just saying. I think this OSU situation's... I think there's going to be a lot of guys who are going to be protesting the OSU.
Yes.
And tortillas will still be thrown.
It's going to be on both sides of the field, and I hope fans realize this, that it is not just students that do this.
Yeah.
Because if you have ever been to a Tech game, there's probably more tortillas coming off the other side of the field than there is on our side of the field.
Because they check us. They don't check the alums.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. JT, like you mentioned earlier, talking about the alumni side, they go more crazy than we do because they only get to do it once a year. You know what I'm saying? They only come maybe a game or two. So it's going to be definitely a ride. I'm excited to watch that game in person, potentially, if we don't get booted out by sections, which I think may happen.
Yeah.
But,
they threatened that against Colorado. When we played Colorado last year, now they were throwing water bottles, which is too far. But they were we will throw students out by sections. And it seems like, again, I think Kirby was on our side on this, but I think he's finally told enough is enough by either donors, by Joey or somebody, that they may throw out sections to get rid of these tortillas and make it official.
I'm not going to say where they're not throwing out sections. It's confirmed. They're not going to do that. I have info. They're not throwing out sections.
I mean, what's stopping them from doing it?
I'm just saying because they've already threatened it. That's why I was throwing it out there, because they've threatened it already this year. So that's why I was
And like I said, I remember Colorado last year. They said they were done.
It's not. They made it clear it's not worth throwing out 500 people in a section for 2 people's actions.
Yeah.
Like we have, there's a system being developed, and I'll talk.
Well, I know what you're talking about. I got told a few things too, but yeah, I mean, anyway, at the end of all of this, definitely a day as just tech people in general, a day that's pretty much kind of sorrowful because this is the end of an era that was, I mean, unique and what made Texas Tech Texas Tech. I mean, hell, we've got tortilla blankets, tortilla shirts. I mean, it was our identity. We were literally tortilla people.
This whole year we've been giving out shirts that said "Come and take it" with the tortillas.
Yes, with tortilla launcher.
I think it'll continue to be our identity. I think this is just a bump in the road. We'll get through it. All these people are freaking out, and I'm freaking out too because I've grown up with it. But like, it's not going to be banned forever. There's no way, especially with our fan base.
I can see. I definitely can see it. I hate to say it, but
our donors and the power, like donor support. Well, I mean, people don't realize just how much impact Cody Campbell has currently in college athletics. I mean, but anyway,
I can see Tech trying to give a tortilla jersey.
At this point, Cody Campbell should just buy the Big 12.
He got enough money. I mean, he would be good. But I know everybody's got to get going. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to drag this on because I could keep talking. But I know everybody, or at least AJ, I know you probably got to get going.
I got to
study my test.
I got my
you got to test. You got to study for it. But JT, you wanna wrap it up?
I've done enough talking, bro.
All right. I guess I'll make it easy on everybody. We appreciate anybody that watched this. We appreciate y'all listening to our little rants. Obviously, just to sum things up once again, tortillas are now officially banned. It's a sad day for Tech fans. It should be a sad day for most college football, enthusiasts and diehards. And I want everybody to remember what JT said. This hopefully will be a bump in the path. This is not the end of something that made us so unique. I feel like they'll implement something. I've already seen maybe like getting towels that are tortillas and just having those. I mean, something just to keep it, alive. But anyway, we appreciate all y'all for, coming out, checking us out. JT, AJ, appreciate y'all for y'all's time. My guys, we will catch y'all back later this week with a preview. I think, are we going to do a preview or recap first?
We did the recap today, so it's going to be... I mean, we might touch up on like top 25 since we did not get to that today because we are 90 minutes in.
Yeah. So. Yeah, all right. So we'll do all that later. Once again, thank y'all. Hope y'all have